Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you.
I do.
Yes.
All right, you're both officially on the oath. I'm going to go ahead and let the state call you as witnesses, and they allow them to go ahead and have the opportunity to cross-examine, and then we'll take it from there. And again, at the end of the day, you both are entitled to ask questions and to give testimony. So at this time, you may proceed with your calling your first witness, Mr. Gwynn. Thank you.
And thank you, Judge. And I emailed Belinda with the DNA test. So the state is going to request that those be submitted as State's Exhibit 1.
All right, I haven't received those yet. Well, no, I haven't gotten those yet. I got something else in another file, but I don't have those yet. I'll have Belinda bring them in until I get them. I'll let you know when I get them, and then you can continue up into the end. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Judge. State would like to call Edward Walker.
Yes.
Mr. Walker, please state your full name for the record.
Edward Walker Jr.
And what is the name of the child or children that we're here on?
Liliana May Walker.
Okay. And there are 2 other children that you're aware of?
Yes.
What was done to test the paternity of those children?
You mean like DNA testing?
That would be correct.
Yes. It was DNA testing done.
What were the results of that testing?
That I'm not related to them.
And when you say to them, who are you referring to?
The twins of Veronica.
All right, I've got the DNA. I'll go ahead and I'm marking both of these. I'm gonna mark it as a cumulative. I'll tell you what, since there are 3 different ones, I'm gonna go ahead and mark. There's States 1, States 2, and States 3. All right, at this time, folks, I'm going to show y'all all the states 1 through 3. States 1 through states number 1 is concerned the child Liliana. Stage 2 is concerned the child, I think it should be now Sincere or Sinceria, I'm not sure, but it is spelled like a Sincere. And child number 3 is Sayer or Sawyer, Taylor. So and both the other 2 are Taylors and not Walker. So at this time, is there any objection to any of these DNA tests coming in evidence at this time, Mr. Walker?
No. No, Your Honor.
All right, how about you, Ms. Walker?
No.
All right, so station number 1 shows that Mr. Edward Walker is the biological father of Liliana. Probability of paternity is within the guidelines of 99.99. In this case, it's 99.999997. So the court will so find. But for the stage 2 and stage 3 for both Sincere Taylor and Sayer Taylor, it finds that Mr. Walker is eliminated as the biological father with a 0% chance of paternity in both those 2 cases for both those children. And the court will also find that he is not the biological father of these children. And you may proceed at this time, Mr. Gwen. Thank you.
Who does, I apologize with me. Who does Liliana currently reside with?
She stays with me.
And why does that child currently reside there?
Since the court order.
Okay. So the court ordered that child to reside primarily with you?
Yes.
Why?
Well, it was from the CPS case.
What CPS case?
Where Veronica was removed from the house due to assault on my daughter.
Which daughter?
My oldest, Aaliyah Walker.
And how old was that child at that time?
I believe 13.
And what kind of relationship does Liliana have with her mother?
She has a good relationship with her.
And how often do they visit?
The first and third.
But since the visitation has been ordered, they have been visiting.
Yes.
What, if any, safety concerns do you have between Liliana and her mother?
I don't have any at the moment.
So who makes decisions in the child's day-to-day life?
I do.
Who makes educational decisions for Liliana
I do as well.
and medical decisions?
I believe she is still on the Medicaid case with her. I think she had it switched over.
Who provides a child with clothing?
I do.
How's the child currently receiving medical coverage?
Through the Medicaid.
And what do you currently do for a living?
Currently, right now, nothing, is just a disabled vet. So I'm just supporting everybody off of that.
Stood. And what are you asking the court to do here today?
I just
Real quick, sir. What's your percentage?
90%.
All right, then. All right, so you're getting about what, 2, 3 thousand a month, 2 or 3K a month?
Yeah, yes, I believe it's like 2,300.
Okay. All right, thank you. You may proceed.
Uh, what are you asking the court to do here today?
I just wanted to get on paper, just the custody agreement, so everything is set in stone, so there's no confusion.
What are you requesting regarding retroactive child support?
I didn't want anything in retroactive.
What are you requesting regarding current child support?
Whatever the minimum is.
Okay. So by that, would you mean whatever the guideline amount would be?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What are you requesting regarding current medical support?
Whatever the guidelines is for.
Okay, no further questions for this witness at this time, Judge.
All right, thank you very much. Your witness, Ms. Adliger.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Walker, are you and Miss Walker still legally married?
Yes.
Okay. And when were you married?
Um, I'm not sure. I want to say 2020.
Was Liliana born during the marriage or before the two of you were married?
Uh, it was born after.
Okay. And when did you separate approximately?
Um, I'm not sure. I'm sorry.
Was the separation the sole result of the CPS investigation?
Yes.
And Miss Walker physically left the home at that time?
Yes.
And has she returned to live in the home since that time?
No.
And once Miss Walker left the home, what type of visitation schedule did you have regarding Liliana?
She really didn't show up or really speak with her until after I filed for support.
And do you remember when that was?
I had it in the documents that I sent in, but I'm not sure at the moment. I had to look through some stuff.
So when you say that she didn't really show up or call, did you guys have a set schedule?
Um, no, at first we was going off of what the CPS thing said, and we just went from there.
And so since mom has primarily left the home, Liliana's lived with you?
Yes.
And who else lives in the household with the two of you?
Aaliyah Walker and Ariel Walker.
And those are your two other daughters?
Yes.
And does Liliana have a close relationship with those two girls?
Yes.
Okay. How often does Liliana currently visit with her mother?
Um, like about twice a month.
And in your opinion, are those visits going well?
I believe so.
So when Liliana returns, do you have any concerns about her physical or mental state?
No,
Okay, awesome. How many other biological children does Miss Walker have?
that I'm not sure.
You previously stated, I believe in the last hearing that you believe she had 8 children total.
That's around there.
And do you know how many of those children are minors?
Should be all.
And so apart from Liliana and the two twins in this case, does Ms. Walker have custody of any of her other 5 children?
I don't believe so.
Do you believe that it's going to be in Liliana's best interest to continue to reside with you and her sisters?
Yes.
Would you continue to work together with Ms. Walker to make decisions regarding Liliana?
Yes.
And would you
The judge doesn't interrupt much, but you can tell he's measuring every word. Because this isn't about who talks more, it's about who sounds more believable.
encourage that Liliana and Ms. Walker have a thriving relationship?
Yes.
Is there anything additional you believe the judge needs to know in order to make a decision regarding who Liliana should primarily reside with?
Oh, no, ma'am.
I have no further questions for this witness at this time, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Anything on redirect, Mr. Gwynn?
There's not, Judge.
All right, sir, I'll be back in just a moment. Go ahead and call your next witness, Mr. Gwynn. Thank you.
They would like to call Veronica Walker.
Yes,
All right, ma'am, state your full name for the record, please.
Veronica Garcia Walker.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You may proceed at this time, Mr. Gwynn.
Walker, how many minor children do you have?
I have 8, 7 minor.
Okay. And how many of those do you provide support for or have in your possession?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of them. And then one of them I do pay child support for.
Okay, so you have 5 of them, the 5 of your minor children live with you?
Well, I have primary conservatorship over them. Yeah, should I say yes? But they don't live with me. One of them lives in Atlanta with their father, and then the other one goes back and forth to San Antonio with his grandmother. And then my other ones are a little bit older, but they don't live with me. They live with their dad. And I pay child support for one, and then my 2 older girls, they live with their dad. One's graduated already.
Okay. So you pay child support for one child?
Correct. I pay child support for Micah Riojas. That's one of my sons. I pay child support for him.
And you have that's when you say 5 minor children, are you including the twins?
Yes, correct.
Okay. How would you describe your relationship with Liliana?
Amazing.
And how often do you visit with her?
I visit with her the first and the second, or no, the first and third weekends of the months.
How would you describe those visits?
They're really good. Yeah, they're really good. I mean, she tells me what I didn't have a vehicle for a little bit back in December, or not December, but in November. So I wasn't able to visit with Liliana in November because I didn't have a vehicle. I got into a car accident, and I wasn't able to visit with her then. But for the most part, our visitations are pretty good. Yeah.
How did the visits go after you got the car situation resolved?
It's good. Yeah.
How's the child currently receiving medical coverage?
Through Medicaid, through under me.
Okay. And what do you currently do for a living?
I don't do anything. I've dedicated 2 years, well, almost 2 years into raising my twins.
Okay. So how do you support yourself currently?
Well, my boyfriend, he has a job, so we support ourselves based off of him.
Mhm. What are you asking the court to do here today?
Just trying to get a conservatorship over Liliana.
Why?
Because Edward has alienated her from me for some time. back in 2024, the beginning of 2024. Alien.
She's giving them everything. And the judge? He's not reacting emotionally, but he's definitely taking notes. This is where cases quietly turn.
Dated her for me for 3 months, and would not allow me to come around or anything like that. And that was after I moved out of the home. And then he did it again when I moved to Cameron. He didn't want to give her back. He didn't want to let me visit with her. He didn't want to let me call her. He wouldn't let me talk to her on the phone. So it's really just to get a guideline of us not arguing and not bringing Liliana back and forth because it's not fair to her.
Why did you leave the home?
I left. Want me to be honest? I left the home because I cheated on Edward, and he
Okay.
wanted me to be out of the home. That's what happened.
What about CPS?
So CPS didn't come in until afterward. I didn't move out of the home until June. I moved out of the home in June, at the end of June. Prior to that, I was already looking for an apartment because Edward wanted me out of the home, because I had cheated on him.
Why was CPS involved?
His other baby mother called CPS on me because his older daughter had hit Liliana, and I had gone in there and was screaming at Aaliyah, and she was his other baby mother was on the phone with the youngest daughter, and she heard me yelling at Aaliyah, and she then called CPS, which then I think they came like 2 days later or something like that to the home and investigated.
Yeah. And what, if any, charges came out of that?
No charges were ever brought up. They did ask me to leave the home or the children would get removed out of the home. I didn't want that to happen, but I was already looking for an apartment to move out because
So CPS requested that you leave the house, correct?
yeah, I would say yeah, because that was part of the safety plan. So yeah,
Okay.
they gave an option. Yes. They gave an option. Yes. Leave or the children get removed.
What are you requesting the court to do here today?
For me to get conservatorship over Liliana.
And since the temporary order has gone into effect, what has Mr. Walker done to prevent you from seeing your child?
The only thing I would say, well, the only thing that I'm gonna say is when I didn't have my vehicle, I did ask him if he would work with me to bring her down here because it was a whole month that I didn't see Liliana because I had gotten a car accident. He didn't, he stated that he didn't want to because it was too far. So that would be the only thing, that he didn't want to work with me with visitations, with being able to see her for that whole month that I didn't have a vehicle.
What reasons would you have since the vehicle situation got resolved
Mhm.
To believe that your access possession would continue to be interfered with?
I feel that if he gets into a mood, he won't allow me to see the child, even if it's on court ordered paper. But
Here's the deal, ma'am. Yeah, and that gets you 180 days in Bell County Jail when you don't follow court orders. Okay, now the order is enforceable. All right, this is once I make a decision and it becomes
right,
part of the visitation, whatever. If somebody violates the court order, then I need to know about it. But once I know about
right,
it, I deal with it. Okay, and
okay,
my orders, ma'am. So you don't have to worry about that aspect of it. But yeah, so
okay,
y'all do need to try to cooperate as much as possible. But hey, I've been a divorce lawyer for 40 years. I know better to a
right.
certain extent. All right. Thank you.
What are you requesting regarding retroactive child support?
None.
And what are you requesting regarding current child support?
I don't want child support. I don't want any child support.
What are you requesting regarding current medical support?
I'm none from him. I get Medicaid, so, or she gets Medicaid. I don't get it. She gets Medicaid, so none from him.
Okay, no further questions for this witness at this time.
All right, Ms. Lambert, your witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Walker, when were you and Mr. Walker married?
We got married in 2019.
And Liliana was born during the marriage?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you remember the approximate month and year that the two of you physically separated when you left the home?
Yes, ma'am. That was in 2023. Um, June of 2023, is when I left the home.
And at the time when you left in June of 2023, where did you move to?
I went to my friend's home, Chelsea Carrero. I went to her home.
And in legal battles, the quiet, consistent story usually wins over the emotional, shifting one. Right here, you can feel the balance tipping.
Because, well, you didn't ask me why, but I went to go live with her. Yes.
And was that in Killeen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And where do you currently live?
I live in Cameron, Texas.
And do you live in a house, an apartment?
I live in housing. I live in housing, so it's like the well, apartments, I guess, because it's apartment 17, but they're like duplexes kind of deal.
Okay. And who lives in the home with you?
Shane Taylor, the twins, Sayer and Sincere Taylor, Trey Daniels, and which is my son, Trey Daniels, and then Johnny Craig Jr. Lives here as well, and then Liliana when she comes and visits.
Who is Johnny Craig Jr.?
He is my son. He is my 10-year-old son.
Okay. And so do you agree that since you physically left the home that Liliana has primarily lived with her dad?
No.
Okay. And is she currently enrolled in school?
Yes.
Where is she enrolled in school?
She's enrolled in Killeen ISD.
And what grade is she in, kindergarten?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And why do you believe that it would be honest
I'm
for her
sorry.
to
You cracked up.
You-
Everybody, you cracked up a little bit. Ms. Lambert, please repeat the question.
Yes, Shauna, thank you. Why do you believe that it would be in Liliana's best interest to live with you?
Simply because Edward doesn't do much with the girls. Or well, I'm talking about Liliana. Doesn't do much with Liliana. She wants to be in ballet, tap, jazz. She wants to be a cheerleader. She wants to do all the sports things, and Edward does not involve her in those kinds of things. She wants to be a little girl, and he won't. He doesn't do that. And so, when you know, her hair is not up to par. When she gets dressed, and when I get her, has dirty clothes all the time. The oldest daughters dress her. He doesn't. He was working at O'Reilly's recently, and he didn't have anybody to get her off the school bus. When she was coming home from school, he was going to pay his oldest daughter to get her off the school bus, or not the oldest, the middle one. Um, it's just a lot of concerns that I have of him not actively being a parent with Liliana.
And so do you think that those are safety concerns or just differences in parenting styles?
Safety concerns because not the oldest, but the middle one and Liliana always fight. They don't include her in things, stuff like that. So those are definitely a concern to me. I
But
don't
there's
know.
never
That's
been
just
safety concerns. There's never been safety concerns that have risen to the level of CPS being involved regarding Mr. Walker. Is that correct?
Yeah, there has been prior. Yes, there has been. But this isn't the first CPS case we have. We've had multiple CPS cases from But yeah, there has been for both of us. We've had to take parenting classes together, actually.
Any since you were removed from the home?
No, while we were together.
Okay. And so the issues that you stated earlier, the concerns with why you thought you should be primary was because you believed that Mr. Walker had alienated the child or withheld. But as
Yes.
the judge stated, that could all be solved with your standard possession order. So do you have anything additional apart from that?
No,
Okay. You also mentioned previously in your testimony that you were removed by CPS because the oldest child's biological mother heard you yelling. Is it your testimony that you were only yelling?
It wasn't the biological mother, it was the other baby mother. He has three, so it was a
Okay.
different one to a different child. Yes, I only yelled at her. I was
So
only screaming at her. And then when CPS came, she then in turn told CPS that I had hit her over the head with the chair.
okay.
Yeah.
Was this
But never went to the hospital, never anything. Just I hit her over the head with the chair.
and was this an isolated incident?
What do you mean by isolated?
This just happened one time? Is there just a one-off? There was never any other altercations between you and Aaliyah?
We've had me and Aaliyah have always had words, yes. So I've always, I guess my parenting discipline style is yelling at them. But I have spanked them and stuff. I've spanked Liliana before, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, like I have. But to say that I've just smacked her over the head with a chair, no, absolutely not. So
Would you be surprised to know that there's video footage of you grabbing her by her hair?
no, I wouldn't be surprised about it.
Okay, so it wasn't just yelling then, as you previously testified.
No, that's why I said I have I've have whooped them and stuff. Yeah,
Is that what you consider physical discipline, grabbing a child by their hair?
I do. Yeah, I mean, it was done to me when I was a kid, so that's. Yeah,
Okay. I don't have any further questions. I have no further questions, Lonnie. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Walker, you testified that there was some CPS intervention and y'all took, when's the last time you had to take any type of class for parenting abilities?
I think I want to say maybe in 23 or 24.
Okay.
I want to say it's somewhere around there, but we both had to take classes, but I don't remember. I don't remember, but I know I had to take
Y'all didn't
classes.
take classes together, right?
Yeah, we had to take parenting and anger management classes and stuff like that. So I did have to take classes.
All right, but you didn't take them with Mr. Walker, you took them separately?
No, we took them together.
Okay, that's when y'all were still together?
I want to say it was during the pandemic. So I want to say maybe in 2020, 21, somewhere around there.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Gwynn, anything on redirect, sir?
No, Judge, not at this time.
All right, here's what I'm gonna allow, folks. I'm sorry, and Mr. Gwynn, you have no further witnesses. Is that correct, sir?
That is correct, Judge.
All right, Ms. Lambert, do you need to recall Mr. Walker and have any other further questions of him or anyone else you wish to call, ma'am?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, here's the deal, folks. I'm gonna let everyone give me a closing statement, closing argument, and we'll take it from there. So at this time, I'm gonna go ahead and let the lawyers go first and tell the court what they're requesting. Obviously, I think y'all already know, but after that point, after they tell me what they're requesting, I do here again. Both of you will have the opportunity to tell me what y'all requesting. I know what both of you are requesting. Both of you are requesting custody. But there's an argument you wish to make, you can do so at this time as your closing statement / closing argument, and the court will go ahead and take that into consideration, and we'll take it from there. But at this time, I'll go ahead and let the state go first. They originally brought this case. They didn't let them. Then I'll go to you, Mr. Walker, then to you, Ms. Walker. Thank you.
If the state could have a moment, I would like a moment to recalculate some of the child support.
All right, then that's not a problem. Move off the record for a moment. I'll let the state have that moment, and then I'll let everybody come back and make their closing, because obviously the state wants to make part of their closing the financial circumstances. So anyway, we're off the record for a moment, and as soon as you're ready to go, let me know, Mr. And again, this is the interest of Walker minor child at this point. Thank you. You may proceed at this time, Mr. Glenn. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. State is requesting that this be made a final order. State is going to defer.
No big speeches from either parent. No last-minute emotional plays. And honestly, that silence speaks louder than anything. By now, the outcome is already forming before the judge even says a word.
On all aspects of access, possession, custodianship, etc., to the ad litem, Ms. Lambert. As far as the numbers go, neither party is requesting or desires retroactive support. Upon running the calculations, should the primary parent be the primary custodian be determined to be Mr. Walker, the child support set against Mrs. Walker would be $169 per month with a medical support of $19 per month. Vice versa, and to the contrary, if the mom were determined to be the primary custodian, that would be a judgment against dad for $336 per month for child support and $25 per month medical support.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Adlighter.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would request that we do proceed with a final order today. I think based on today's testimony from both parties, the court will find that it's in Liliana's best interest to continue to reside primarily with her father. The parties can remain joint managing conservators with dad being primary. And I think it's generous for the mother to have a standard possession order, but since visits have been going well, and I'm hoping that that continues to improve for Liliana's sake, I would recommend that mom have a standard possession order in this case. And I defer to the state on all financial matters.
All right. How about any geo restrictions requested?
I know under the temporary order, there was a geographic restriction. I think that could remain in place. Because mom is in Cameron, I would just say to Bell and contiguous counties. I don't think either party has any plans to move.
Because Mountain County touches Bell, so we're good.
Yes, Your Honor, but that would be my request.
All right, thank you. All right, I'll again, like I said earlier, I'll start with you, Mr. Walker. Anything you'd like to make as a closing statement, sir? I know what you're requesting, and I know what you're asking, and I know why you're asking, but if you'd like to make an argument, you can do so, and then I'm going to allow Ms. Walker to do the same. Thank you.
No, Your Honor, I don't have any closing statements.
All right, Ms. Walker, closing statement, closing argument, ma'am. You muted, ma'am.
No, none. Mm-mm.
All right, thank you both very much. At this time, the court's going to go ahead and I'm going to follow the recommendations of the ad litem. I'm going to name the parties joint managed conservators in this matter. However, I'm going to give Mr. Walker the right to decide domicile. That right is restricted to Bell and contiguous counties. I'm going to go ahead and order that the Ms. Walker pay him guideline child support of $169 per month and cash medical of $19 a month. Both those start the first day of February 2026. I'm granting the mother the standard possession order. Last time, best of my knowledge, I'm thinking Cameron's about 56, somewhere between 50 and 60 miles from Killeen, where the father's located, but she gets the standard possession order, get to pick the child up for the first 35th weekends of the month, all the visitation. Since it's within 100 miles, she gets the 30 days in the summer and all the other holidays. And they get to split the spring breaks because, again, it's within 100 miles. I want to, Ms. Walker, here's the deal. Under Texas law, it is your responsibility, so long as Mr. Walker lives in Killeen, and so you live in Killeen, correct?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
So long as he lives in Killeen, Texas, and doesn't move, ma'am. If he moves, even the Belton, this changes. But under the law, you're required to pick the child up at the beginning of visitation from him, and return the child to his residence at the end of visitation. I'm going to go ahead and waive court costs, both based of the fact that Mr. Walker is a disabled vet. It is waived, and the fact that the mother is getting benefits from the state of Texas, I'm going to waive her court costs. Anyway, that's going to be the ruling of the court. Is there anything else specifically I need to rule on for you, Mr. Gwynn?
I would ask to have some form of ruling on family violence finding and non-disclosure.
I'm not. There's never been a conviction, so I'm going to keep she's innocent until proven guilty. Now, the information I have does give me some cause for concern, but I'm not going to make a family violence finding at this time because there's never been a conviction for such. And I'm going to go ahead and order the parties to keep their address and contact information available. That means address, phone numbers, and email.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right, anything else you need, sir?
Not at this time, Judge.
All right, Ms. Lambert, anything else you need specifically ruled on, ma'am?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. and Ms. Walker, the state's going to prepare that order, circulate it, and sign, and for y'all to review and sign off on it. You don't have to sign off on it. The only person that has to sign off on it is me. The lawyers obviously sign off on it, and but you'll have the opportunity to review and sign off on it if you wish. Is there anything else at this time from anyone? Any questions at this point, Mr. Walker?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Walker, any questions, ma'am?
No, none.
All right, thank you both very much. And Ms. Walker, yeah, that hair, that's just because something with just because things used to be a certain way, that doesn't mean they're appropriate these days. All right, ma'am, don't be pulling children by the hair. That's not appropriate. There's some things I wish I had. I wish I had my dad's 57 Ford and my mom's 65 Impala, but I don't. Those things, yeah, the judge can retire on that kind of money these days, but still. But the bottom line is, ma'am, be real careful about this because, again, the information I heard, there could have been criminal charges, but CPS doesn't normally do that anyway. So that's that circumstance. But anyway, there's never been a finding, so the court's going to go with that at this point. And I wish you both the best of luck for you and all your children. And we're off the record.
The final ruling. The judge locks it in. Joint custody. But the father gets primary control. Mother gets standard visitation, plus child support obligations. Clean, structured, enforceable. But then comes the real moment, the warning. The judge calls out the discipline issue directly. No sugarcoating. No excuses. He makes it clear things might have been normal before, but that doesn't fly anymore. And that's the underlying message of this entire case. This wasn't just about custody. It was about control, responsibility, and evolving standards of parenting. The father played it steady, the mother played it emotional, and in court, steady usually wins.